said that I was on the first name basis with Noah. You know, Noah of the Ark. I was on the shovel brigade. And I say that partly to be cute and partly to say that I've been around for a while. And I've seen things from, basically I started remembering things when I was about 2 years old and up. And I remember watching the 1952 Democrat and Republican conventions. Very primitive TV at the time. I remember it because it took my favorite shows off. I remember Dwight D. Eisenhower as president. I don't remember President Truman. For some reason, I never recognized him. I recognize and remember Khrushchev, Premier Khrushchev. So, in comparison to many of you, I've got a bit of history, maybe would be a better word. And one of the things that I've noticed is that Newton was right with his third law of motion. For every action, there's a reaction of equal amount. And that doesn't apply to rockets only. This deserves a good talk about. Hello anyone, I'm Scott Bain. They call me the old farmer. Professional wrestling was an act. Oh, sometimes people got hurt in the ring. But you could tell when women were allowed to do professional wrestling that it was a fake. Because women don't have the upper body strength to do a body slam.
There you see a very, very groggy Larry Shane.
So how could they do that?
And Golden Moose Cholak storming out of his corner.
The body slam was pretty much the power for doing it was the person being thrown.
Getting in there for what he hopes will be the kill. Oh,
to some degree, they put their hands somewhere on the chest here
half-sitting,
and help leverage them
and it
up
could have hurt him,
and around
but
so
he
that
wasn't
the
so
person
far
can be thrown.
gone
So
that he
the
didn't
effort
see the
for a
Moose
body
coming that
slam was
time,
really the person
and he
being
rolled
thrown
out of the way.
rather
The
than the
Moose is
person
stunned.
throwing the person.
We've got a couple of tired wrestlers in that ring right now. Larry
And
Shane,
quite often,
a flying drop kick
to show
sends Moose
blood
on his
back
back
in
again.
the 60s and
Time
such,
was when the Moose could claim
you'd
that he
see,
had never been knocked off his
they
feet.
carry a little razor blade.
But you've seen him down a couple of times here.
You know,
And sent down
like
by
a
Larry
double-edged
Shane.
razor,
He's
like for a
tangled in the
safety
ropes.
razor, and they go up
That
and
big right
nip their
leg
foreheads a little bit, and then
was
stick
tied
it back
in there,
inside
and
their
as he
trunks.
scrambled back into the ring,
Because foreheads
he
bleed.
took Shane down.
Because foreheads bleed a lot.
I guess
so
Larry didn't
made it
expect him
quite
to get in
bloody.
quite that fast. Very
And
happy
some
to
of the
notice among
people
our
who were
ringside-
wrestlers, professional wrestlers, who did that stunt, their foreheads almost started looking like a Brillo pad. So there was a lot of theatrics in professional wrestling. There's a lot of theatrics in politics too. It's not unusual to see friends on either side of the aisle sitting down and having a meal together, and they are friends. not everybody, and not all the time, but there's not as much differences between them as individuals. There's a lot of drama in politics purposely for us to watch the politics going on. And if you want to be thinking about Mr. Trump as second term of president, you can thank the Democrat Party for that.
Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have. They don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press.
I mean, she's awash in regret and remorse and offense, but she's either tragically uninformed or lying. There is no economist that's been tapped to sit in Donald Trump's cabinet who would testify under oath to what she just said. Quote, tariffs are a tax cut for the American people. Simply the opposite is reality. Why do you think they're on such a furious propaganda mission around the tariffs?
I think that Donald Trump has a very, very unusual, idiosyncratic, and completely incorrect understanding of how tariffs work. You can look at economists everywhere from the Libertarian Cato Institute to the left of center think tanks in Republican and Democratic administrations, aside from the Trump administration, and they all agree that tariffs function as tax increases on consumers. What happens with a tariff is that companies importing pay the cost of the tariff, and they mostly pass those costs on to consumers. You can go look at corporate earnings calls, and they all say that tariffs function this way. So, you know, I think that this comes from Trump himself, who has for decades now held this unusual understanding of tariffs, but it doesn't make it real, it doesn't make it true. And we already have companies saying that they will have no choice but to pass some of the cost increases on. And again, these are not companies that are heavily politically aligned. Some of the companies that have been most concerned about the tariffs are heavy industrial companies concerned about the cost of steel, aluminum, and other manufacturing inputs. So as much as Trump believes this, it's simply not true. And American consumers are finding that out right now.
And I can understand the differences when it comes to politics. Democrats want to do things one way, Republicans want to do it another way. It angers me, though, that there is little cooperation across the aisle. And one of the best examples of it was when Mr. Trump was speaking in a joint session of Congress. Now, when he was talking politics and the actions that he had done and things like that, obviously I don't expect the Democrats to stand up and applaud. But there were individuals who were pointed out that survived very serious, very emotional circumstances.
A brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
It angered me seeing the Democrats sitting there. I was livid. Such pettiness. And that includes the 2 Democratic senators in Michigan. They pretend to be moderates in voice, but in action, they're as bad as every other crazy Democrat out there. If you want to be perfectly honest, if you want to know where the Democrat Party is now, it's the Republicans. There is no equivalent of the Republican Party out there. There's the Socialist Party, which is the Democrats. There's the Party for the Average Worker, which is Republicans. And there's no other party out there to replace what Republicans used to be. And that's why you see things like Robert Kennedy Jr. working with Mr. Trump. People who have a real concern will work with Mr. Trump. And the thing about President Trump that the Democrats don't realize, he's a different president the second term around than what he was for the first term. Two major reasons. Whether it's true or not, he honestly thought in his gut that he had the second term of his presidency, where Mr. Biden won, stolen from him by illegal acts. Doesn't matter whether it's true or not. He believes that in his gut. And that made him angry. And instead of being kind of like what Bill Clinton was as a president, in personality and attitude, this time around he was dead serious. Absolutely. No messing around. He understands what it is to be the President of the United States. And to reinforce that, the attempted assassination of Mr. Trump, where we have the picture of him bloodied with his fist in the air and his yelling, "Fight, fight, fight." He's a completely different man in his second presidency. Now, how should we look at his presidency in the future? He's not going to be as good as what the MAGA people think he should be for a president. And he won't be as bad as what the Democrats think he's going to be as a president. He'll have his strong points and he'll have his weak points. He's good at negotiating. And yes, I agree that many of the countries out there have been taking advantage of the United States, and he wants to swing that around. And I see these tariffs as negotiating ploys. And once there's an equal playing ground between the United States and a particular country, then watch the tariffs go down to, what, 2.5% or something like that. Because he said before he got into the tariffs, he said that there were key countries that were important to the United States. Mexico was number one. We do more trading with Mexico. Canada might be number two. Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and Great Britain. That's what he sees as the family of the United States. And there's other countries that will have a kissing cousin relationship and have favored nation status, real favored nation status, not a fake one like what they do in the UN or whatever. He's out to do a good job for the United States. Now, you may disagree with what he's doing. The Democrats used to talk about eliminating waste in government. Why are you against it now? Two reasons. Donald Trump says we got to reduce waste in government, and he brought Elon Musk in to Doge to find the waste and remove it. If it had been Mr. Biden doing it, the Democrats would have been happy about it. But I think you forget, our politicians forget, that they are working on our behalf. And we, as the American people, are the boss. Mr. Trump kind of sees that. I don't think the Democrat Party sees it. And it goes back to what I was saying about the Michigan senators, both Democrat. If they behaved the way that they babbled, I wouldn't have any problems seeing them as Michigan senators. The way they behave, though, and act, I have serious concerns, to the point where I wish we could pass a law that we could recall our senators. Because they were part of the crew that sat on their hands when a wife stood up because her husband was killed during Mr. Trump's speech. The cancer survivor who wants to be a police officer. And those hostages that were released, and several other people. Democrats, you sit on your hands. I don't care what you say, I care what you do. And I was absolutely livid. And it may, if things don't change, it may be that the Democrats are going to lose more people in Congress. So politics can continue being professional wrestling, or maybe both parties can add a little bit of dignity back into the process. And for any elected officials who were part of an embarrassing act, what are you going to do about it?
Thank you for watching, and please be safe. We'd sure appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a comment. You know how YouTube behaves. They won't believe you watched a video unless you leave a comment. Also, it would help if you ring the bell and do a thumbs up. As you know, if I find a good channel, I pass it on to you. So if you think it's appropriate, it would sure help if you passed us on to your closest 10,000 friends and family. But above all, give a helping hand to someone today. It's the best gift to give. It'll make you feel good too.
Don't forget to click like, subscribe, share, or ring the bell buttons on the Original Old Farmer channel. We enjoy reading the comments that you leave, and they do help the channel, so keep them coming. And once again, thank you for watching The Original Old Farmer.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.